People are injecting this peptide at home as part of their skincare or personal care routine. Apparently, this peptide has gone viral and a lot of people are actually doing it at home or thinking about doing it or using skincare with this particular peptide in it as the key ingredient. But is it actually worth it and can it actually do good things to your skin? This video will give you that answer. By the way, if you don't know me, I'm Christina, a beauty enthusiast with a first-class medical sciences degree from England. I did neuroscience in Germany, now works in marketing. The goal of this channel is to help you navigate the beauty world differently with science and look through the marketing claims. So in this particular video, I'm going to explain to you what exactly is this peptide. According to research, what can it do to your skin? I'm going to explain in simple terms so you can make a decision whether this is good for you and should you consider using skincare with this ingredient in it. Let's get into it. So before we understand if it can actually bring benefits to our skin, we need to understand what exactly is this particular peptide or what is peptide exactly. So we have this peptide called GHK and copper. So a peptide is composed of amino acids, which is building blocks of our body. In this name, GHK, each letter stands for one amino acid. So you can see there are 3 amino acids and they are basically glycol, histidine, and lysine. And these 3 amino acids, they bind to a copper. This is a copper, so that is this peptide. So essentially that is what this peptide about. That's very brief. I hope that's not overwhelming. Let's move on to this peptide's effect on skin and beyond. What it does in your body and on your skin. So imagine your skin is like a building. It's also your skin, and this building just goes through some storms. And for your skin, the storms can be pimples, breakouts, or this environmental factor that can harm your skin or your skin doesn't like, or UV radiation, excess sun exposure. So this building has been through some storms, so it needs some fixing. So basically this peptide acts as a project manager. It's coordinating and is asking your skin to fix stuff by mainly 3 ways. So we have the project manager here. So the first thing that it can do is to actually call out some contractor to fix furniture, for example, and to rebuild new stuff that the storm has destroyed. And in this case, for our skin, it's collagen. So it's call out contractor to build new collagen and all those good stuff in your skin, in your body. And the second thing that it can do is to build some utilities. In this case, in our skin, it can facilitate a process called angiogenesis. I'm going to explain this in a very, very simple term right now. So this process, in short, is basically to build new vessels. Like imagine the storm has destroyed stuff in your building, like it could destroy this mirror and it can destroy the pipes in your building, like ventilations in your building. And the project manager needs to facilitate the repair of these pipes and generate new pipes. And in our body, they are these new vessels. And the third thing that it can do is actually to fix electricity, because the storm can potentially take out the electricity or damage some part of the electrical connections in the building. So the project manager in this case would then try to fix it. And in our body, it can fix the nerves outgrowths. So it has some effect on our nervous system as well. So that's the basic understanding of what this peptide can actually do. For our skin though, if I summarize it really briefly, then this particular peptide or project manager of our skin is facilitating wound healing and skin regeneration. That's what it does. And as part of this process, it facilitates the skin to build new vessels. Because when you have a wound, for example, or if you cut your finger, some small micro vessels are damaged, then this peptide can facilitate your skin to build new vessels. And since we mentioned collagen earlier, it can also boost collagen production. And with all of these, that's why this peptide can improve aging skin and actually hair. So all of these mechanism and findings and understandings, they're based on one research paper, one review paper that I found, and I'm going to show it here in case you're interested. However, there's just one problem with this. It looks like the research is backed up the benefits of this peptide, and as we age, the peptide decreases, so we can in theory use this peptide to boost collagen production and facilitate wound healing and improve our skin and make us look more firm and radiant. However, all of these research, they were done in vitro. What does this term mean in vitro? It means like the evidence to support all these claims and benefits, they are done in a lab, like outside of a living organism or living body. So they were done in a dish, and then you have like cells in the dish, and the researchers just work with these cells on the dish and maybe put the peptide in there and then analyze there. Or some of these experiments, they might involve animals, but so far all of these, they are not proven in human body. To prove the peptide effective or doing something in human body, it has to involve clinical trial. So I have reviewed the research evidence, and I have only found one clinical trial with this peptide. So the gold standard for clinical trials should be randomized and double-blind study. So what are these two terms means? I'm gonna briefly explain. Randomized, so for example, you have 40 female here in this study that I found, and the study basically split them into 2 groups or 3 groups. Let's say in this example, 2 groups, so we have 20 each. So randomized means that those 40 people have no idea which group they will be in. This group will receive the real peptide, and this group will receive the placebo. So that means it's like a fake drug. So for the randomized double-blind trial, imagine it's like a blind tasting test or game. Perhaps you have seen the drink tasting game on TV or food tasting game on TV. It's like there's a box in front of you and you have a drink from each box, but you don't know what they are, and then you, based on the taste, sort of like guess what they are. It's kind of like that as in the randomized double-blind trials. You don't know which group you're in and you don't know what you're drinking. You just join and become part of the experiment, basically. Like if I am selected into the study, I will get randomly assigned to a group, and I don't know if I'm going to receive the real thing or not. So that's basically the study. So they put the participant in these groups, they give them peptides and also regular serums that without the peptide, and another type of peptide that's widely used in skincare. And the results basically show that in this particular trial that I found, the participants apply this peptide serum twice a day for 8 weeks. And then they measure the wrinkles before application and after application. So basically the results shows that the wrinkle volume, depths, both significantly decrease. So in terms of clinical trial, this one clinical trial that I found over 1 hour of research, it seems that it's backed up. So that's all the research evidence that I have found in my 1 hour of research. So this part of how it works and how much research is behind this peptide is based on one review paper, and then the clinical trial is from another paper. I'm gonna put the clinical trial paper title on screen in case you're interested. So to make a short conclusion, the benefit of this peptide has been backed up by some research, and our body naturally produces it, is doing its job, but as we age, the amount of this peptide decreases. That's why we can use skincare with this peptide in it to compensate it, and it does help with wound healing, regeneration, and it boosts collagen production, and as a result it can improve aging skin. However, there are limited clinical trials, which means the trials that's done in actual human, to back up the efficacy of the peptide. And based on this one trial that I found, is indeed effective in lifting wrinkles, both in terms of volume and depth of wrinkles. However, there's always a but, is that this particular trial is only done in 8 weeks with 40 people. As we know, life is never that simple. If you just look at 40 people in 8 weeks, it's not as representative, because each individual skin is very different and we react to different things. And as some of my videos have mentioned, like our ethnicity even can play a part in how we age and how our skin reacts to different things. So I hope this is helpful and provide you some insight, and if you do find it useful and if you like it, do consider subscribing. And I should let you know that I built a free personalized Korean sunscreen recommendation tool. Check it out in my profile, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!